Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whatever the time may be. Welcome to the channel, or welcome back. Today we are going to be tackling the regular gauntlet, and I'm not going to waste any time before getting into this. I was going to do a corrupted gauntlet guide first, but then I figured it made more sense to do the regular so I can cover the basic mechanics of the gauntlet. If you don't know how to get there, Thriftiness on the teleport crystal from Song of the Elves questline will be the quickest way. If you don't have that, you can Grand Seed Pod. I guess if your charges are out, you can Grand Seed Pod, go for a Spirit Tree, and that'll get you to Thriftiness as well. Once you're in Prif. If you used it and like ran out of charges, like that, then you can just run over here and top up from Heirloom Nerd. I have my default right click set to enchant, and then you don't have to Spirit Tree there the next time if you were going to. Yeah, so if you've never done the gauntlet before, I'm going to go over the basics before we run on in there. But it's a procedurally generated dungeon essentially, and you go for different rooms, collect different resources to make gear and food and potions and shit, and then you kill a big boss. It's really fun. It's one of my favourite things to do in the game, actually. And it's always great as a way to just, like, refresh, warm up on PVM at the start of the day, or whatever. Now, I am recommending you use a plugin for this. You don't have to, if you don't want it. It just makes things a little bit easier. It lets me keep track of my resources up top, and, you know, like, I can see things just outlined a little easier. So you will see the overlay. It's just called the Gauntlet. And I have these set to the numbers that you see here, because that is how much we are going to be aiming for. The only one that's not actually accurate is paddlefish. If you want to take that down to 25, that's good. I have it at 28, just so the fishing spots still show up if I need to get a couple extra if I ate along the way. Yeah, and then Bowstring Orb, unless you like doing melee for some reason, and that's pretty much all you need from this. You'll see it when we get inside. Yeah, so the strategy is going to be fairly simple. We're going for tier 2 armor inside. You can do it with tier 1, but if you have lower stats than mine, you might struggle a little bit. I'm not like a particularly high level account. I'm getting towards the end game, but still not maxed on anything yet. So like, you can do the gauntlet at a much lower level, is my point. This is essentially a very average player showing you that if he can do it, you can definitely do it. And the regular gauntlet isn't that bad. So it's actually been a while since I've done one of these, but I'm very used to the corrupted, so I'm not worried. Straight away, we're going to go in, get some resources. See the bark, the cloth, and the ore all in this first room. But that's just random. It could have been anything. I could have had nothing. I could have had 4 fish. I mean, I say nothing, but there would be NPCs on it at least. And yeah, and you want to kill the first 3 small NPCs that you find. I've paffed around this really badly. I'm probably not going to be playing this at all efficiently because I'm talking through it. But you want to kill the first 3 things you find, because the third one is guaranteed to drop you a weapon frame. If you get a weapon frame early, you don't need to keep killing, but there's another rat, so I'm gonna stick the melee and pie on, kill it. Get some more bark. And at the moment on this first sort of circuit, what we're doing is, you see the boss is here, so we're going to make like a C shape around the rooms, around our starting room, and that'll allow us to hopefully get the majority of the resources that we need. Obviously it depends on your room setup, and then we can focus on the demis after. And the reason I'm checking these rooms at the side is because the only rooms that can spawn the demi bosses, which you need for weapon upgrades, are these 3 rooms at the very edge. So it's like a 5x5 grid essentially, and the 3, so we've got Crystalline Dark Beast there. These 3, like with the boss being centered, is where you can get those demis. I actually picked up 1 too many herbs there, so I'm going to have to just drop 1 temporarily. Will need 3 herbs, but did not need them this easily, and I should have been killing one of those rats as well, as I mentioned, for the weapon frame. We do need one more bark, so can't drop this axe yet. I'm just going to drop this for now and grab the weapon for him. Alright, so to make it all your gear, you're going to come over to this crystal singing bowl here. We're going to kick it off with a crystal staff attuned. We're going to not have the invent space for that, so we're going to make a chest plate first and then 2 vials. Drop all the rest of your materials here and go fill up from the water pump before you go to kill whatever demi-bosses you found up top. So we're going to go kill this dark beast, and then we'll probably run over to the wood over there to finish that off. Before we go searching for some more demis, do make sure you actually get the right equipment and prayer on before you start this fight, of course. Now the dark beast attacks with ranged, the bear attacks with melee, and the dragon attacks with magic, and they all drop the respective components for those weapon upgrades. So we're going to ideally want to kill a dragon and a dark beast. If we get a dragon next, that's fantastic. If we don't and we get a bear, we're going to kill it anyway, because if you find 2 bears and you don't find a dragon, but you already have the bear's component in your inventory, then the second bear will drop you the component that you don't have, basically. So like you wouldn't get 2 spikes from bear. Well, I chopped way too long there, shit. It's actually harder than I expected doing this while talking about it. But yeah, this is a fun learning experience for all of us. So you'll see me like dropping shit as I go. The axe we don't need anymore because we've got all our wood now, can tell thanks to the nice plugin tracker up here. Getting as much fish as I can while I'm just running around here. And I'm actually going to crush some crystal shards. Each 10 you crush gives you 10 dust, and that is what we put in these potions. And there's the dragon. So I was actually kind of lucky on the demis that I found here. Can mix the potions during it. Each potion gives you 20, like depending on what your level is, it gives me like 25, 26 prayer and 40 run energy, and it gives you the same buff as a stamina potion as well. So these are really good when you're just running around and exploring. It's actually quite a lucky run, I'm not gonna lie. Like, my room setup was pretty decent. So I'm gonna use the teleport crystal that you get to go straight back here, because I can't be asked to run. And we've got plenty of time on the clock still to find the last few fish we need and the crystal shards. So everything is going well here. Over to the cooking, I'm going to drop all the fish to make room for these resources, and we're actually going to pick them up just now because we don't quite have the shards yet, but we are going to just drop the other bark there and make the perfected bow and perfected staff. You do want to ideally go for the bow and the staff, it just makes your life a little bit easier when it comes to fighting the Hunluff. Can do it with the melee weapon, but it's not ideal because then you have to run into melee range, and you know, sometimes you're trying to avoid certain things or whatever, and it is what it is. I'm gonna ignore the I only need 5 more crystals now, so this is why I really recommend the plugin for the crystals, especially because like now I know I'm done, I don't have to actually keep track of how many, and I don't need any more fish, so that is done. Gonna combine these Ignil potions to make some more room. You can fill the vials up from fish pools as well, which might save you some ticks instead of running over here like an idiot. But it is what it is. Don't need the pestle and water right now. Do need to pick up all this shit. Now the only other thing I'll say, if you do kill a bear and get a spike, is you can grind the spike down. And that allows you to get 80 extra shards. That's a good way to make money if you had to go for an extra boss on your way to the point where I am. And you just need a little bit more money. Grind that spike up, you're not going to need it. And good to go. I think this is everything we need to go into Hunluff. And you can see time left on the clock, still 3 minutes. I'm used to doing this in Corrupted, like I say. Actually, I'm a couple under there on the fish. I think see, it went down because I had a fish drop somewhere. And then, yeah, there was 3 fish over there, see? So I thought I had more than I actually had. And I dropped my harpoon. A real YouTuber would edit this out. But, fuck that. To be honest, I don't even need, like, I'm not going to need these 2 fish, but I'm just doing it so I have a bit more time to talk. There's not really that much that needs to be said, to be completely honest. The Hunler fight, I didn't pick up the fish. This is awful, see. It's a good job we have this extra time, because I've just been misclicking all over the place in this joint. Glad I didn't do the Corrupted first, to be honest. The Hunler fight is going to be pretty easy with tier 2 armor, unless you're, like, really underleveled. So, you don't really need to worry too much. You can make a couple mistakes and you're going to be just fine. The most important thing to know about this fight, every 4 attacks he's going to switch, and audio can be really handy for this. In fact, I'm just going to turn up the sound effects so you can hear a bit clearer, because he makes the same noise every time he switches styles, and I don't look at him most of the time, because you can't tell by looking at him what style he's on, only by the attacks that are coming out of him. So, like, it's better to just do it off the sound, in my opinion, and you can then use your eyes to be looking at other things that are more important than looking at Hunluff. So he always starts off with his ranged, and he's going to have a different prayer up just randomly. So we know we can attack with either style here, because he's on prayer melee at the moment. And he switches his prayer every 6 attacks from us. But yeah, let's just go in and it'll be easier to do this. So we're going to put up the prayer range, because he always starts on range, then go in and start attacking straight away, get the DPS up. So that's 2 attacks, 3, and then on this next one, he's going to make a noise and switch. We're going to switch to the mage prayer. Now he's switched his prayer, we're going to switch our weapon, get attacking with the Eagle Eye on, Rigor if you have it, of course. Only going to be 1 tornado here, switch back when he does that noise. Just make sure you dodge in these tornadoes as they come out. That was a bad switch, went too early there, but did get lucky. So far very simple. Now that one that he made there, where it sounded like it was a really hot fireball that was burning, that's going to turn your prayer off when he does like the pink one. So you want to keep an eye out for that, and ear out for that. But really all this fight is keeping an eye on what prayer he's got overhead. There's that fireball again. It's not pink in this one actually, it's yeah, keep listening to that thing. Even if you do miss prayer like I just did, then like you're only going to take a little bit of damage. Paddlefish at 20 each, you got plenty. You're going to be good to go. You can see that I've already got one for like half health here, and like we're not, you know, we've eaten it 3 times. Like I say, I don't consider myself a particularly good player, but this isn't particularly difficult content once you know what you're doing. And that's the main thing I'm trying to illustrate here, that if I can do this shit, then you can do it easily. Because I am not that good. Now with the tornadoes, there's some interesting ways you can like move through them at certain points. Because if you have your run on in RuneScape, you technically move 2 tiles at once, like you just skip the middle tile, which essentially means that you can run straight through them if you get your timing right. I won't attempt doing it until you've got a closer understanding of how the mechanics work in here. But yeah, once you do, you can do shit like that and not get hit by the 3rd one, hopefully. I'm not going to die here. I'm not going to die here. I need to just stop talking. One thing I always tell myself, if things get a bit intense, is just let the fight simplify. especially if there's no tornadoes around. You know, all I need to be focused on is the right prayer. Don't need to keep my health high because he's not going to hit me more than like a 10 if I'm on the right prayer. And there you have it, Hunluft down. And hopefully you find it as doable as I did. Is there anything else I need to say, really? I feel like I covered most things pretty in depth there. If you have spare time like I did and you don't want it, you can go in early, or you can go and like get some extra materials and make a piece tier 3 armor or whatever. But there's no real need to in the regular Gauntlet. Hunluft's health is pretty low, and you don't have to worry about it for the most part, so... yeah, I hope this guide helps anyone who finds it, and if you enjoyed it, please do leave a like on the video and a comment down below. Let me know if it helps you get your first KC. That'd be very nice to know, and I will be back soon with a corrupted version of this guide, which is going to be very similar, to be honest. See you next time.